Test review. The first three questions are where you just write the math. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at this and you're going to read it. 4 more than twice a number. So you're going to ask yourself those questions. Is there an is there a then, and so forth. So when I look at it, I'm going to go with red. I'm going to say, yes, there's a then. So I underline the then, I circle everything in front of it, and I send it to the back. So I'm going to start here with twice a number. So twice a number is going to be 2x, and then 4 more than it, plus 4. Okay? Question number 2. 3 less than a number is 16. Once again, oh, do I have an is? Yes. So I draw my brick wall there. And then I underline the then, circle everything in front of it, send it just back to the brick wall. So I start with a number. So I'll say x, 3 less than it, minus 3 is equals 6. So you don't have to solve these or anything. All you've got to do is be able to write them. Okay, the last one, 5 more than the sum of a number and 17. Now remember, there's the then. We circle everything in front of it and send it to the back. But the sum of, the difference of, that indicates parentheses. So we're going to have the sum of a number, so that's a plus 17 in parentheses, and then 5 more than it, plus 5. Okay, next one. Oops, sorry, skipped. All right, so it says evaluate. This means you're going to take the numbers that you've been given and substitute them into the expression. So instead of saying a plus b, I'm going to say 3.1 plus 2.6. Remember, when you're adding, you line up your decimal points and you just go ahead and add. Subtraction, same thing, 3.1 minus 2.6. So you're going to go ahead and do that one. The next one is multiplication. So we're going to do 3.1 times 2.6. Now, remember, when you're multiplying, you've got all kinds of options as to how you're going to be able to do this. You can do it in a box. You can do it using just the traditional algorithm and so forth. So if I did it in a box, I put my 31 and my 26 like this, divide my boxes up like this, and then you do each set of factors in each box. So 3 and 1, or 1 and 2 rather, that's 2. 3 and 2, that's 6. And remember, you've got to put a 0 in to hold that box open if you need to. And then 6, and then 18. And then with these problems, you add on the diagonal. So we're going to add like this and get your answer. But the thing with multiplying decimals, if you'll remember, is you have to look at your factors and count how many numbers in each factor are to the right of the decimal point. Since I have 1, 2 numbers to the right of the decimal point in the product, that means whatever I get for my answer, whatever it may be, so I'm going to put my decimal point 1, 2 places into that problem. So that's where my decimal point's going to go. So that's how you do that kind of problem. Okay, I'm going to erase real quick. All right, we're up to question number 7. Now, number 7's a little bit different. Here it says that x is 3/4, so that should really be an x inside of there. But this means 3/4 times 3/4, because remember, when you square a number, it means that you use your base, the 3/4, as a factor twice, not times 2, twice. So you do the math on that. Okay, and then the last one, I'm going to do 2 times 3/4, and remember, I'm going to put a 1 under here because it's 2 over 1, plus 1/2. So I do the math on each of them. So I do the math with 2 times 3/4, and that'll be 6/4. So I have 6/4 plus 1/2. And remember, before you can do fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So it's going to be 6/4 plus 2/4. You get that, you add it up, and you simplify it. Okay, next part says write an expression. So you rent skis for $65 and you buy a lift ticket for 2 days. You only have to pay for the skis once. So you're just going to write an expression. So $65, that's what you have to pay, plus you're going skiing for 2 days, so it's 2x. And then however much the lift ticket costs, that's what you'd substitute in for the x. Okay, so that one's done for you. Number 9 is done. Okay, number 10, write an expression, then solve. So number 10 is like the first few in that you're starting that way. So it says twice a number, 2x, increased by 1 is 17. So when you use the kit, the first thing we did was we took a 1 off of each side, Figure out what that is, and then do the math. Okay? Next part, combine like terms. So you're going to draw a rainbow to each term. 5 times x is 5x, plus 5 times 3y is 15y, plus 2y. Remember, when you're combining like terms, you can only do same variable, same power. So my variable is x. I don't have anybody else with the last name of x, so my answer is going to start with 5x, plus 15y and 2y. I can combine those, but remember, you only add the coefficients when you do that. Okay, next question, draw a rainbow to each term. Remember, these are ones in front of these, so it's going to be 4x plus 4y plus 5x plus 3y, and then you combine your like terms. Okay, next one, these you're going to solve. Who's your variable? So if you have 3x equals 1.5, your variable is x. What's happening to it? It's being multiplied. So you're going to do the opposite to both sides. Make sure that you're doing this to both sides. So I divide both sides by my answer, and the value of x is 5/10. Okay, make sure that you are doing what you're doing to both sides. Number 16, so the 15 was done for you too. Number 16, 1/4 x equals 2.4. Who's the variable? X. What's happening to it? It's being multiplied, so you're going to divide by 1/4 and divide by 1/4. Uh-oh, now I got a fraction and I've got decimals. What do I do? Well, same times reciprocal. So it's 2.4 over 1 times 4 over 1. Well, that's easy. You just multiply 2.4 times 4 and you've got your answer. Okay, next two. Who's the variable? A. What's happening to it? It's being added by 3.7. What are you going to do? Subtract 3.7 from both sides and get your answer. Last one, who's the variable? X. What's happening to it? It's being subtracted. What are you going to do? Add the opposite to both sides. Remember, when you're adding these, you want to line up your decimal points. Go ahead and add that on up. So that's it. If you've got any questions, make sure you know what your questions are tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.